Hi, I'm Pastor David B. Ricks, and I'd like to welcome you to the Pinnacle Talk Show. Joining with me will be our co-host, Janae Sharice, and our guest, Simone Richardson, who will be discussing mental health and the arts. But before she comes, here's Shantae with What's the Talk.
Hey guys, welcome back to What's the Talk here at the Pinnacle Church of God. This is our second week of September 2020, and we're going to dive right into our COVID-19. Do you remember your 3 W's? Are you washing your hands, wearing your mask, and watching your distance? You do it this time with me. Let's make sure we wash our hands, we wear our masks, and we watch our distance. The COVID-19 call center is available 24 hours and 7 days a week and can be reached at 1-866-779-6121. Local updates are also posted daily at COVID-19 at floridahealth.gov. Make sure you stay informed, and let's make sure we're keeping up all precautions. Okay guys, it's time for our fun fact. Did you know that September is Child Cancer Awareness Month? Did you know that it was founded in 2010 by former President Barack Obama? The international awareness is geared towards raising support, funding, and awareness of childhood cancers and its major impact that it has on families and also the patients. What's the Talk is challenging you for the rest of the month. We only have about 7 days to go out and get you a gold ribbon, which is the official worldwide symbol of Cancer Awareness Month. The gold ribbon is a symbol of courage of all the little heroes who are currently battling childhood cancer. For more info, please visit childrenscancer.org. Okay guys, back to Sister Janae.
Joining us today is Simone Richardson. She is the CEO and founder of Artists with a Purpose. Simone has an associate degree in commercial art and a bachelor degree in human services. Artists with a Purpose was established in 2012 and continues to serve children and adults throughout the community. Welcome, Ms. Simone. How are you?
Good. Welcome. I'm so glad to be here. So glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us. So tell us a little bit about your Artists with a Purpose.
So Artists with a Purpose has been out since 2012. I actually established this when I noticed that there is a lack of art in our African-American communities. Just fortunate that I was blessed to have an art teacher to pour into me at a very young age. She would always take my art pictures and send them to Disney and do a lot of other things that made it so important. And she's seen the art in me. So she invested in me very, very good growing up as a kid. And so I'm actually wanting to do that for my community. So what I did was I noticed that the kids love music, they love art. And what I did was actually created a program where I am mobile and take it to the heart of the community, creating art gallery shows for kids. Not only just for kids, I noticed that the parents are also in need as well. So we created a program where it comes together where you're talking about poetry, art, and music, where we're painting live while they're doing spoken word. Or we also have shows that are called Soul Purpose, which will be coming out. Actually, I was going to do it next month, but I'm going to do it next year because it's going to be amazing. We're trying to get more other spoken word artists, and we're doing a live performance. Everything's going to be virtual live and trying to get it more involved into the heart of the community. But it is something that was definitely needed. And I noticed that it was more about mental health than just art. You know, when we were kids, it was like, just have fun, let's do art. It's more than just that. Most of the kids are not expressing themselves. See, when I was growing up, it's like, don't cry, suck it up.
Right.
You'll be all right. So, and then in the meantime, you're dealing with all these emotions, and how do you deal with those things? And so now I'm giving them an outlet where they can become emotional through art and express of what they're really feeling, like what is really inside. And art does that for these kids and adults.
Okay, so so you mentioned mental health. So you have seen like the children express themselves more through the artwork.
Yes. Most kids that deal with either ADHD or autism does do very well with art.
Hmm.
They love to have anything that has texture or sounds or music. Um, we also, as far as like different plays where they can be able to become that person of who they are. So yes, when you're dealing with any kid that have any type of mental health issues, art is
Hmm.
definitely something they can be able to get into and um, express themselves. When you're talking about African American cultures, we don't talk about mental health as much. Um, and it should be something that we do talk more about in our communities. It's something that I think it's just a lack of knowledge of how to express when they have are dealing with PTSD or dealing with depression or anxiety. These are things that people deal with every day, and they just don't talk about these type of things when you're
Hmm.
talking about mental health.
Is it because of the stigma that we've attached to mental health and the negative uh, vibes that we get when people start talking about mental health? Thinking that looking at it in a different way that we kind of shun away from it within our community.
I think it has a lot to do with it because I mean, we would just say, they're crazy or, but people deal with real trauma, that has probably seen loved one passed away in front of them or had a major accident or any type of major things. It does something to the brain. There is a trauma that triggers to the mind. And it has nothing to do with, hey, like they say, oh, you got a demon in you or whatever. It has
Right.
nothing to do with it. It really has something to do with the mind of how it's reacting. And all it takes is taking therapy and getting something like art and um, getting into some type of releasing the things that they're feeling inside. They need to talk about it. It's something that they have to talk about because if not, it builds up to other things where you're talking about suicide, which is suicide is rapidly rate into teens, like really something that is so needed. And this is why I have to push it so much more is because the suicide rate of teens has skyrocketed in all cultures, and that means something's missing, um, and something's happening, and that's something that I think people need to talk about more, and we definitely need to be able to reach what needs to happen into all communities.
Have you had any students come to you and not even realizing that they're dealing with mental health issues?
Yes, I was a crisis suicide counselor for 3.5 years. Um, that was my job. And it was
Okay.
something that I noticed more because we would get over 5,000 calls a week.
Wow.
And most of them are teenagers and elderly. Believe it or not, why would you say elderly? Most of them have lost their loved ones, and
Mm,
they're dealing with, hey, I've been with this man for 50 something years. What am I supposed to do?
right.
Um, so yeah, we would have suicide rates between elderly and teens. And most of it is because they don't know how to express themselves, or the internet and things they're looking at. You got
Right.
Facebook and you got this peer pressure that has nothing to do with who they are or who they can become. They get all into these things that
Right.
overcomes them, and this is where the foundation comes of who I am. Who am I in God? That is the most thing I think that we need to look at as far as building their foundation of their personality, of their identity, of who they are, and growing some type of foundation where they can be able to stand and say, I don't have to take this. I can be who I'm supposed to be. I don't have to cut myself. I don't have to, deal with all of these other suicide thoughts that are in my head. I think the foundation has to be grounded in. But if they're not talking about it, if they're, Googling it and doing
Right.
Instagram and Facebook and telling
Right.
everybody else about their lives, what do you do, and how do you fix those things? And that's where Artists with a Purpose comes in. And like, where I am a prevention, just trying to prevent those things from happening before it gets to that break. I want to be that bridge to connect to the community and to what mental health is, but in a way that is it's welcoming for them to want to come and to learn, you know.
Right. And since this pandemic, have you noticed an increase in
Oh my
mental health
gosh.
issue or depression since the isolation?
Yes, it has been it's been work a great work on my hands, but as far as now you got parents that are teachers. You know,
Right.
I'm one of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I am
Yeah.
one of them, and it is new, you know, and it's like, okay, where does all this come from? So yeah, you got all of that's going on, but to be honest, to me, just for this pandemic, it's been a blessing for me because it's actually, you know, I'm used to the just a go person, but now
Right.
I'm actually sitting down thinking about, you know, what things I really need to acknowledge, and for kids having family time, having all those things that are important, really making it important now. You know,
Mhm.
everybody's looking at life in a whole different way. You'll never think that if you touch a doorknob you may pass out in the next 30 seconds, you know. So
Right.
now it's
Yeah.
like you're looking at life as a whole different perspective of what you really need to do as a whole. And I think to me it definitely opens the mind of what we need to really do now, living in full potential, dying empty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really focusing on what is your real purpose. What do you really need to be doing right now? What is God telling you? What is your goals of what He's really showing you at this point? And this is when we need to step up and say, you know, I'm gonna do this. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't wait till the next day. You know, you may have $5 in your pocket. That's fine. Just live life in full potential and live it like it's your tomorrow. You know.
Right. So with also, can you, with artists with a purpose, can someone be uh taught to draw and to dance if they don't even, if they already
Yes.
don't have this in them? Because like
Yes.
me, I have like no art skills
You
at
have no.
all. So would I be able to learn?
Of course, everything is about shapes and sizes and texture. I mean, it's all about connecting dot four. You know.
Hmm.
It's so easy. Yes. I mean, I do art classes. I do a lot of women's ministry. Before the COVID-19, I would have,
Right.
you know, women's groups and we would do art together. Even kids, you know, I can teach kids how to paint as age 2 years old.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's so simple and it's so rewarding for families. So they will bring their babies and actually sit with them and they do art together, have that mommy and me time. A lot of mothers miss that time even with their child, or even having some type of disconnection, you know, when they have their babies. Also for pregnant women, it's also good too, when they are having the babies in their stomach as well. So
Okay. So, and you say you travel, so you travel to nursing homes and different
yes,
schools and communities
different
as well.
schools and community. Yes.
What area do you or is there a certain area you stay in, or do you like expand all around Central Florida?
So no, I am expanding. Right now, my area is Orlando.
Okay.
I'm doing really good in Orlando right now. That is my main focus, and it's a growing area for me. A lot of great connections, a lot of African American entrepreneurs that do the same thing that I do, and to have a great leadership in Orlando is it's just been amazing for me. Right now, I'm working on a bus to actually have an art classroom. Where I
Okay.
actually travel and the kids actually come inside the bus. So the bus is not moving. I take it to the
Mm-hmm.
community and we have class just
Right.
like we have a regular art class. So yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting. Now, and I know you have also uh, worked in the community putting on different shows, like you have spoke about
Yes.
spoken word and dancing. So tell us a little bit
Yes.
about that.
So spoken, I mean, it's called soul purpose. Soul purpose
Okay.
is a basically like where are your feet right now? You know, what is
Okay.
the purpose? So wherever your feet land is where your purpose is.
Okay.
So it's really cool. I actually have all the artists that are in the room, and we have performers perform, and we actually have painters paint. So you have like everybody in the room is painting, everyone. So every table has a canvas, and then we have the live artists on top of the stage, and they paint. Um, So it's real welcoming. It's very different because it's something that's never been done as far as just creating art as a whole, where everything
Mm-hmm.
becomes art. So it's been really good for me. I also have also deaf people that come, so I have an
Okay.
interpreter as well. So I mean, that's another area that I'm doing also for the blind, um, doing art class for the blind. So it's a lot of different things that I'm definitely getting into, more to just giving everybody that opportunity to be able to be a part.
Okay. Now, what about this podcast? I hear you starting a podcast as well.
Yeah, so it's called Supersede Podcasts. Me and Shantae are getting together. She's going to be a part of that. And that is
Okay.
entailing where, resources of what's happening right now, empowering women, empowering communities, building what has been broken, and just having that voice, to what's happening in our community right now and how can we be a part to make things better.
Uh-huh.
And it is definitely something that is needed for all women and all just communities.
Right.
I think it's a great idea because you have to this point where the voices of the women are good, but it's like how can we impact of making it change? So you got to create an action to get a reaction. So I think it's more of just not just talking about it, but like let's
Mm.
just do it. What can we do now to change what's in our community right now?
Okay. So when does that start?
So our first one is October 10th. We're
Mm-hmm.
starting, and we will be having some intels on Facebook, just throwing it out there and say, hey, we're gonna get this spoken as far as the soul seed, the super seed, and how we can be able to be an invoice of everything. So that's gonna be like October 10th, and then we're gonna be able to do more right after. But it's gonna be talking about the things that we're doing because I got an actual show that's coming up. Like I said, we're doing it for next year.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Silent Voices, and that is about the kids that we were talking about, just not having a voice and being connected to the community some type of way of expressing themselves. But the artists, I have 5 amazing artists that are all from all types of area: Philadelphia,
Mm-hmm.
Orlando, Ocala, Apopka, also me. We take all the art pictures from the kids and we actually express it through what they're saying, and then we're going to auction them off. But the coolest thing about it is everyone gets to go to the virtual gallery, so you actually get to
Uh,
go in virtually. You get to have these glasses, you get to go in and see what the actual
wow.
artwork is, and it's going to be really cool. So that's going to be next year because it's going to be a lot of building with that. But we're actually getting kids together. We're going to be posting that so we can get all those art pictures together, put it all together, and the artists are going to paint live. It's going to be an actual show, Sole Purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and then Silent Voices will be the project for the auction.
Okay.
I hear you
And
talking about Orlando a lot. When are you gonna do anything in the Suffolk County area? We're not in Orlando.
I know. Well, I've been here since 2012, so it's
Where
like
you get hired at
I
then?
mean, I've to be honest. I mean, I'm always here. I'm here in Leesburg. I live in Leesburg. It's just I mean, if anybody needs me, they know how to connect to me.
Now we do.
But
Now we do.
but I think hey, I'm here for open ideas, and I'm all about growth. I'm all about building communities, and if anybody's ready to get out the box and really see something happen and let God do his thing, then yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for any communities, any city. So
now, can you what was your age range again?
to unlimited.
Ooh, wow.
To
Okay.
unlimited. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Old, new, young, any disabilities, there's no
Mm,
limits. There's no limits. And it never should be any limits, because I think everyone has a voice. Everyone has, something I think to share, even if, it's old or new, or young.
okay. Okay. And I heard you mention deaf, but do you also deal with people that's blind?
Yes, I am starting to connect to the people that are dealing with, that are blind and deaf.
Okay.
That's a whole different ball game because
Yeah.
you have to be a part of their world. You know what I mean? And it's a
Right.
whole different thing. And it's amazing how art is such a creative thing for them. It's all about sounds and movement, and it's amazing. I love it. I'm growing in that area right now, and definitely is something that I am trying to patent some things to make it more available for them. And yeah, a lot of people don't, and this is really sad, but I just looking around in the community, the deaf community and blind is not, it's not open to what it should be in any
Right.
stores or anything like it should. And they will tell you that. But yeah, I've actually learned sign language just to
Okay.
communicate, and also for just learning the blind and learning how to just learn their language as well. So it's something new, and I'm definitely willing to open to learn more.
Wow, that's amazing.
Mhm.
So how can, what's my question? Are you into like the daycare? Do you go to daycares? Like,
Yes, I've been to
okay.
daycares.
Mm-hmm.
The daycares, they, like I said, they can give me a call, do a actual
Mm-hmm.
group, where we'll do a session. Say it'll be like 6 week session, and at the end of the session, I'll do a art gallery at the end for the kids, where their
Mm-hmm.
parents can come in. One daycare we did was all around the world, so
Okay.
every kid, every classroom had different countries, so we would learn different cultures
Mm-hmm.
and actually connect to what's different about Africa, what's different about, living in Paris, living in Europe, whatever things they had. We would actually either eat the food or have to learn about the animals, just learning everything else, and then actually, do different art projects about their culture, and
Wow.
then create a whole entire gallery. So
So this is just a whole learning experience for someone. It's amazing. This sounds awesome.
yes, it is a learning experience, and it's something that I think everyone definitely should connect to. So my goal is, right now we're doing, I'm in the process of doing Artists with a Purpose Academy, where
Oh,
I'm
okay.
actually taking other students like myself, because either artists become famous when they die, or you got
Yeah.
and then you're buying their pictures for like millions of dollars and they never know them.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, artists is it's sort of like having a barbershop at their every corner. Everybody is,
Right.
it's just straight competition, which is
Right.
it's fine. I'm cool with competition. Because it's all about art. I mean, it's just art. So when you're dealing with that, you kind of just have to be very creative and very
Mm-hmm.
open to partnershiping and building, and not being afraid to hear the word no. I've had 1,000 no's, but all I need is one yes from God, and I just kept doing it until God opened doors for me.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was hard. It was hard because I started the business with just $10 in my pocket.
Wow.
$10 in my pocket, and I never forgot it. I just went straight to the Dollar Tree and just got art supplies and went into the community, and I started from there. And someone actually just seen me and said, "Hey, this is really cool what you're doing," and I said, "Hey, this is what I really want to do," and here I am today.
So how does
So
your
how can,
how does your
go
faith
ahead, Pastor?
how does your faith play a role in your with your business and how your
Wow, it's funny how you say that. Wow. Wow. My faith has not only built to what we called is just seeing the impossible. I never one give up. I just believe that if God says it, he'll do it, and is it hard? Oh my goodness. Yes, it's always hard. But I believe God, and and it's been some times, those crying nights, and I've been times of saying, God, I don't want to do this no more. Find somebody else, maybe I'm not good enough. And he will always just let me know, no, I created you for this. The greatest thing that I love this story is Martin Luther King. And the reason why I'm going to use him for is because you have this one guy that is trying to change the world off of one word, which was love. And a God idea, how can one person change the world from a God idea? And that's the thing, is if you have a God idea, you can
Wow.
create a movement to the impossible. And that's the whole thing. And I'm like, God, I need a God idea, a God plan to
Right.
not only just change the world, but to change, to say, I give you all the glory, I give you all the praise, but not only that, can everyone meet their full potential? How can we change things to create movement to everyone becoming that person what God has called them to be? And just helping one another. We're at this point that the titles and fame and none of that means nothing.
No,
Especially
nothing.
when we see right now, none of that means nothing. What really matters is what are you doing in this moment in your life? What chains are holding you from being who you are? And if you want to be set free, it starts from here and it ends here. Your heart and your mind has to connect to it, and you have to build on his promises. His promises never changes,
Amen.
ever. It's situations always come,
Preach.
come. The promises never changes. Promises never change.
That's good.
Never
That's a
change.
good word. That's good.
Awesome. Well, we want to thank you, but how can we others find out and get information on you so that you don't only travel into Orange County, that you
No, I am. You can always, there's artistwithapurpose.net. And you can also, we're always be definitely on Facebook, Artists with a Purpose, Artists with Purpose Instagram. We always are connected. You can call me 352-342-8761. I'm always available for, well, right now, I know we're doing this pandemic, but when all of this is over, it could be parties, it could be, painting with the twist kind of thing. It could be
Okay.
Soul Purpose. Definitely get connected to Soul Purpose. You don't want to miss this. It's going to be virtual. It's going to be live. It's going to be something that's going to, it's going to be good. I can't tell you everything, but it's going to be really good. It's going to be really good.
keep some of it.
Yeah. It's going to be good. I'm excited about it. It's a God
What was
idea.
that date again? What was that date again?
The Sole Purpose, we haven't put out a date yet because
Okay.
it's gonna be next year for sure though, because there's
Okay.
a lot of stuff that I'm doing. It's gonna be real big and until so, but yeah, I'm excited. You can see the excitement in my face.
Yes.
Hear
Yes.
it. Hear it.
It's gonna be really good, but you have to listen to Superseed to know what's going on. Put it that way, so you'll hear that.
That's a good plug. I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Supersede is October 10th, correct?
Yes, October
All
10th, it's going down. Yes, October 10th, Supersede. I'm excited.
I just got one more question before we go, because this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so what got a few tips you can give us of how we can help the community deal with mental illness?
Great question. Oh my gosh. First thing I would want, and this might be out of the box, but a lot of people, I would say, and just intel of all churches or community, I would say surveys is the first thing. Is to get out there and just connect to your church members and say, hey, what are some things that you deal with every day? How can we help you connect to what's going on? Are you dealing with depression? Are you dealing with anxiety? And it doesn't have to be shared to everyone. It could be shared to that minister or that pastor to see what's really happening in that community. I mean, you're in the congregation or in the community. Another great thing I think also is to we used to do this a long time ago, but this is back in the days, but it used to be called Teen Summit. Teen Summit on BT was something that teens had, where they had this big lounge. Everybody had these couches, and you got the candles, and it's kind of like a chill mob kind of look where everybody can just be themselves. And they had these open topics where teens just kind of like talked about everything. Teen Summit was one of the, you can Google it, look it up, Teen Summit BET. This is in the 90s, early 90s.
Yeah.
But it was so radical. Like, teens will talk about the things that they actually deal with, like right now, and how adults, our communities, could connect to them. It's got me thinking about it now.
Me too.
But I don't even, yeah, we might need to connect on that. But yeah, Teen Summit was really good. Like, if you once you look it up, you can really see it had like this whole, they had one topic, the kids can talk about everything, anything. They were their free self, but it was like a lounge where they all kind of chill together, had all these different type of couches, and it was a scenery where they can have their own emotions and be themselves, and it was really good. And I think an outlet for teens will be good for suicide rate. I really do. Something to connect to them. Everything doesn't have to be, how can I say? It has to be inviting. Something they love. Put a PlayStation in there, some flat screen TVs, or, you may want to have a game night where it's just not, throwing them prayer alls and just knocking them out and saying every 5 seconds. I said this one time, and I know we got to go, but I never forgot this. I was a teenager. I never forgot this. I was about 12 years old, and I remember we used to go to the night services, but see, we took our blankets and everything, and I never got it, like, why are we taking our blankets to church, how long are we gonna stay, he was like, oh, it's not gonna be that long, and I'm like, okay, so I got all these pillows, and came to find out the pillows was not for me to sleep, but it was for my knees.
Yeah.
And I remember this older lady, I know this old lady, I'm not gonna say her name right now because she's still alive. But I remember her telling me to say Jesus like millions of times. And I remember crying. I was crying. And I was not crying because I had the Holy Spirit. I was crying because I was so tired. I was like, God, please, just let me get up, Lord. I told her I'm saved, everything. And it came to find out I didn't really know him at all. Knowing God and having a relationship with God is two different things. Yeah. See, they didn't know I didn't have a relationship. I just knew his name, but I didn't know his power. Now that I know his power, it's a difference. So when you get the teenagers, you have to connect to let them know who he is, not just by his name,
Right. Wow. Yeah. That's awesome.
We need to get you to come give a little word over here at the
to our team.
That's the other thing I don't want, but I am a PK kid. I do.
Praise the Lord.
I do preach. I just don't.
I figured it had to be something.
Yeah, I'm a PK kid. Yeah.
Well, we just so thankful for you, man, and all of this.
Thank you for having me. This was fun. This was fun. I like this.
This is our little show. We definitely got to get you to come to the Pinnacle, do one of those artist things, and maybe one of your word pieces.
Yeah.
You got tons of them. You could just come and just drop one on us,
Sure. Hey, anytime I'm here. I'm a servant of God. It's his hands, his mind, his body. You know what I mean? He created it, so I gotta do whatever he leads me to do. So,
amen. Praise God.
Amen.
Again, thank you, Sister Janae.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. This was awesome.
All right.
And we look forward to being with you again.
Yes, look forward to being there.
Blessings.
All right. Have a good day.
You too.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Pinnacle Spotlight, where we spotlight a local business owner here in the area. This week's business owner is Beverly Keenan from right here in Lake County, Florida. Beverly Keenan is from Pompano Beach, Florida. She is the mother of 2 children, 1 son and 1 daughter. She has an associate's degree from Sumter State College, studying early childhood and preschool specialization. She is a Southern University bachelor in class of 2014 in early childhood and a minor in education. She has been teaching for the past 14 years. She has earned a Master Disciple Teacher license from Frontier Church here in Leesburg, Florida. She is the CEO and president of the Learning Chat and More Incorporated. Learning Chat has been serving disadvantaged and academically struggling children in Lake County, Florida since 2019. The Learning Chat and More is currently giving away free books and snacks every 2 months to hungry children out in the community. Her goal is to continue to help, inspire, and support their academic skills during this pandemic crisis. Her compassion for ministry and children and their families are her career and her paths that she will continue to do so that she can be a blessing to those that are in need. If you would like to get in contact with Beverly Keenan, please follow the Learning Chat at facebook.com. Okay guys, thank you for joining. Bye.
Well, thank you again for joining us at the Pinnacle Talk Show. We would like to give a special shout out to our guest today, Ms. Simone Richardson, and of course our co-host, Ms. Janae Sharice. And until next time, please don't forget to hit the share, like, and subscribe button and the notification button as well. Until next time, we'll see you. But don't forget to join us every Sunday morning at 10:30 for our drive-up service. But this is the place where you can reach your highest peak in the Word.